Today will either be a really great day or a deeply humiliating embarrassment.
Already you are starting very pessimistic, and that's very bad.
I'm going to be cooking today, guys. In order to explain why, I need to go back in time a couple years, I guess.
More or less.
So a few years ago, we made a video. Some of you may have seen it. I'll put a link up here. And in that video, we traveled to the Italian region of Molise. Now, Molise is an interesting region. It's very small, kind of remote. And as a result, even Italians know very little about it, to the point where they all joke that Molise doesn't exist. It's a myth.
All of us knows that Molise doesn't exist.
Controllo su Wikipedia. Guarda che guardo, Molise. No.
Non esiste.
Non esiste.
Turns out it does, and we had an amazing experience there. There is a lot of really cool food there. And one of the dishes we encountered there, I have been low-key fantasizing about ever since. In fact, I would probably say that it is everyone's gonna make fun of me. It's probably my favorite Italian meat dish. I would rank it above braciole. I would rank it above the phenomenal Fiorentina steak. It's up there for me. So we were passing through a town. What was the name of the town?
San Martino in Pensilis.
And we were invited by this incredible place that makes this dish to come and see how they make it and try it. They were fantastic people and they made fantastic food. And this dish is called pampanella. I'm trying to think how to describe it without revealing too much about how it's made. Pampanella is a pork dish, and actually come to think of it, I don't even know where the name comes from.
The name Harper comes from the word pampano. Pampano, they were the grape leaves that they used in the past to wrap the meat and cook it. So from pampano comes pampanella.
Oh, and so that's why they cover it with the, well, okay, we'll get there. Now this is a dish that, correct me if I'm wrong, I think it's not very well known in Italy at all. Of course not, because it comes from a place that doesn't exist. Eva was not familiar with it when we discovered it. I certainly, obviously, was not.
But since that moment, both of us understood that maybe this dish deserve a little bit more recognition, to be more spread all around the world. And today, Harper is going to do this for us.
Yeah, well, we realized in talking about it that, you know, Eva doesn't know any more about this dish than I do. It's kind of a not very well-known thing. And she challenged me today to try and recreate it. Now, I did see them make it sort of, in the sense that I saw sort of the beginning parts of the preparation, and then I saw the end and tasted it at the end. There's some big chunks in the middle that I didn't really see, but we're gonna figure some things out maybe.
See, Harper, I'm pretty confident that you can do something like that.
Yeah, well, I woke up this morning and I said, yeah, let's embarrass myself in front of a few thousand people. So I'm ready.
I'm ready to film.
All right, so we gotta start with the meat. Now, the good news for me is that it's gonna be hard for me to go wrong here, because I remember in Molise, they were pretty unconcerned with what cut of meat to use. They used ribs, they used pork belly, they used pork shoulder, steak, whatever they had. So that part's easy. I picked up some boneless country style ribs. It seemed to me a great idea because it's got good marbling, it's not too fat, it's not too lean, it's good for kind of low and slow cooking. In hindsight, I sort of wish I hadn't picked this. It looked really perfect when it was all packaged together, but now I have to cut this in a specific way. I remember them cutting their meat, and because the meat sort of separates in weird ways here, it's maybe not ideal. Maybe I should have gone with pork belly or something, but we'll see. Okay, so I have one of the ribs here. If you aren't familiar, country style ribs are not ribs at all. They're from the shoulder. And what they do is, to maximize the amount of rub and seasoning you can get on, they basically take like a chunk like this and cut it into slices, not all the way through. It's almost like a book, like pages of a book. See, that piece is kind of messing me up there. I'll just leave that one like that. But you get the idea, kind of like little pages of a book there. I don't remember what they did when they had just like ribs. I remember eating ribs, but I don't remember how they cut them. I think maybe they were just individual ribs, but with bigger chunks of meat, this is what they did. Now, to make things easier for myself, this is what I'm gonna cook in. And I'm gonna put the meat in here because I want it all nice and compact and together. Although I just realized if I'm seasoning them, I probably need more room to work. Never mind. Okay, so now I'm gonna put that back. And yeah, basically, I'm just going to cut up all this meat. Okay, I have all my meat cut. Now I'm going to start seasoning the meat. And the seasoning is very simple. We start with salt. And basically, with everything here, you're gonna try to get it in between all those pages of your meat book. I like that, meat book. I don't remember the order that they seasoned things, but I'm gonna do salt first because essentially I'm gonna let the meat dry brine. So I want the salt in contact with the meat. And the salt's done, which means now I need garlic. A lot of garlic. What I'm gonna do is peel it and then cut it in half, as Eva taught me, and remove the bitter germ.
You're keeping the good part of the garlic without having the strong flavor of garlic.
I think the last time I saw this much peeled garlic in our kitchen was when she made bagna cauda.
See, that is a huge quantity of garlic.
This is extremely rare in the Eva Harper household. All right, so this garlic, I need to mince up really, really fine because basically I'm gonna need to spread it in all those little nooks and crannies. This is a recipe for all you garlic lovers out there.
I'm impressed by your knife skills, Harper.
That's about the only thing that I learned when it came to cooking from my dad. I didn't actually learn how to cook though, because he always did the cooking. He was always such a good cook, so I never really had to learn how to cook. But he did teach me how to like use a knife and all that stuff. Now it's smearing time. We're gonna smear some garlic all over this meat. So, I don't know, I'm gonna take some and just in all those little crevices, add a little bit of garlic. Garlic's done, which means it's time for the really fun part, and the part that I'm really looking forward to. The colorful part, the special part, the paprika part. Basically what they do is a kind of insane amount of pepper rub on the meat. When I say pepper, remember that this is from Molise, not Calabria. So the pepper they use is sweet pepper, basically like paprika or maybe even paprika, but something along these lines. And what they said was that if you want it spicy, you can add a little bit of spicy pepper. So I'll probably do that at the end. But the basic rub is just straight paprika. And you gotta really put it on. Oh, shoot. Okay, we're gonna get crazy here. It doesn't come out of this fast enough. Might have to go full open here. There we go. Now we're talking. Now I'm back in Molise.
It's a lot of paprika.
That's what they do.
I know, I remember.
I mean, they were just like scooping it on with a spoon. Okay, so yeah, you need a lot of paprika. Granted, if you're making this at home, you don't need to make this insane quantity. I'm just making this because I've eaten it and I know that I will be happy eating this for the next week, 2 weeks, but you can make a smaller amount, of course.
Say the truth, Harper. This is okay for you for 2 days.
Thanks, Eva. Thanks for outing me. Yes, I'll probably eat this in 2 days. Now, when I cook this, I don't want this open space here. I want it to be all pretty compact. So I'm gonna move everything now that I've got all the paprika on into a smaller pan where I can really sort of compact everything together.
The meat really changed the color.
Yeah, it really does. And now it's finally starting to look like pampanella.
Are you really focused on this dish?
I'm very focused on this. This has been in my dreams for so long. Ugh. Really stuffing it in. I hope that's not too packed in there.
No, it's not
I
too
think
packed.
it's fine.
You know that then the meat will release water.
Yeah, that's actually one thing I'm worried about. Because this dish, and I'm gonna say it now because when it happens, everyone's gonna think that I made some mistake or something. This dish, when they make it in Molise, the meat is kept in a very humid environment, as you'll see in a minute, and it releases a ton of water and it kind of braises in its own juices. That is totally supposed to happen, but I'm a little bit worried because meat in America, for reasons I won't get into, is full of water. So I'm a little bit worried about that, but we're gonna find out. Okay, now, basically, I want this to sort of dry brine for a little while. Let the salt, the paprika a little bit, but mostly the salt absorb into the meat, and that will hopefully help it not release too much water. The meat is cut so thin that it shouldn't take long at all, really, like 30 minutes, maybe an hour. I'm gonna leave it in the fridge 45 minutes or so, and we'll be back and we'll cook it. Oh, I almost forgot. We need our spicy pepper. What I remember them doing is just some simple chili pepper flakes.
Be generous.
Okay, I'll make it extra spicy for you, Eva.
Don't be shy with the peppers.
As they told us in Molise, you can skip it. So if you don't like spicy food, you don't have to make it spicy. But we like spicy food.
Later.
Okay, I'm gonna call the meat ready, which means that it's almost time to cook it. But first, like I said before, we have to create this nice, moist, humid environment for the meat to cook in.
Or moisty, as I like to say.
What they did in Molise was they covered it with damp butcher paper. Now, I'm pretty sure that if you're just cooking at home, you could just wet some parchment paper in the sink and that would work just fine. But because I'm a barbecue fanatic, I happen to have some butcher paper. So why not do it the right way? I do not remember at all. I don't even think I saw how they wet it. So I'm just gonna use a spray bottle.
What about the sink?
Maybe that would have been a better idea. Yeah, maybe just run it under the sink. I remember asking them what temperature they cooked the pampanella, and they gave the most Italian answer possible, which was not too hot, not too cold. It's also about the least helpful answer ever. I know that they're not cooked low and slow quite to the extent of like American barbecue, where you're looking at like the 225 degree range. So I'm gonna go a little bit hotter than that. I'm gonna try 300. My guess is they maybe even go a little bit higher than that, but being the barbecue fanatic that I am, I don't see any problem with going a little bit slower. Okay, Godspeed, little guys. I really don't know how long it will take. I'm just gonna have to keep an eye on it. My guess is probably a couple of hours. We're gonna find out.
1 hour later.
It's been a little bit over an hour and it's starting to smell good, which is good. Oh, that smells really good. That smells like pampanella. The paper has just dried out though, and I'm not sure if I should re-wet it or leave it. On one hand, before I was nervous that it would be too wet, but now I'm worried it's going to be.
Much later.
Oh yeah, okay, you're coming out. So, it has been about 2.5 hours.
I can confirm that the smell is amazing.
And it looks like pampanella to me. This is what I was talking about. All those juices in there. What they did was they just scooped it right on out of here. Oh. It is admittedly a weird looking food. There's one last thing that this pampanella is missing, and it's one of my favorite elements of it. It's what makes this dish so amazing for me, and that is white wine vinegar. What I love about this is that it reminds me of my beloved North Carolina barbecue, which is a vinegar-based sauce. Don't be shy. Now you can eat pampanella hot, but you can also let it cool down to room temperature and eat it kind of cold, which is how we had it in Molise, and I really liked it. So as much as I really, really want to dig into this, I'm going to try to resist the temptation and let it cool down. This has been a long time coming.
It's like 2 years that we are waiting for this moment. Now we deserve to enjoy this.
I don't know why we put it off for so long. Also, it's really, really simple.
It's one of those perfect dishes if you want also to feed the crowd, because you buy the meat, you put in the oven, it does all by itself, and then you have an amazing meat dish in front of you.
Well, we gotta see how amazing it
I
is.
was going to say,
It looks right, but
it looks right, it smells right. Now we need to understand if it also tastes right.
now we're eating this with a knife and fork, but when we were on the road in Molise,
Buon appetito!
buon appetito. Did I do okay?
I would say that you did more than okay, because this is how I remember it.
I just remembered something you said when we first had it. You commented how,
Il peperoncino diventa quasi pomodoro.
and now I'm remembering why you said that, because the paprika, when it cooks down like that, it becomes so just like sweet and thick. It feels like it was braised in a tomato sauce or something.
It has a strong taste because it's, okay, in this case it's also spices because I like it spicy. But at the same time, I don't want to say that it's delicate, but it's,
Well, you would expect it to be more of an overpowering flavor because of the sheer quantity of paprika that you have
But
to
no.
use. But it mellows so much, it just becomes this sort of sweet, saucy kind of.
and then also with the vinegar.
You need the vinegar to
You
cut through.
need the vinegar
In fact,
because
if I could do one thing differently here, it's that I would add more vinegar right now. It's like barbecue sauce. You got to put a little on when you're done cooking, you know, towards the end of cooking the meat, and then a little bit more right before you eat it. Okay, now try that. That's the money, right? That's the money.
so be more generous with the vinegar.
Yeah, that's definitely a good tip. Now, there's one thing. I have a secret desire here. Not so secret desire, actually, because I started talking to you about it immediately after we first tried pampanella. But I don't know if they do this in Molise. I don't think so. But this is so good and is obviously in a different way, but it still reminds me so much of my beloved North Carolina pulled pork barbecue that ever since I tried that, I've wanted to know what a barbecue pampanella sandwich would taste like, and I gotta know. Because we are going to be using Eva's homemade burger/barbecue sandwich brioche bun, she's going to do the sandwich honors here.
I have the honor to make the first pampanella sandwich.
This is gonna be really embarrassing if we find out that they make pampanella sandwiches all the time in Molise, but
I'm
nobody
pretty-
knows.
Harper, I'm so sorry. I'm pretty sure that in Molise they have to slice of bread and put pampanella in and eat. So I'm pretty sure of that.
Now the key to a good pulled pork, or in this case pampanella barbecue sandwich, is simplicity, Eva. So we've got amazing bread, good meat, that's as much credit as I'll give myself, and of course vinegar.
Also because what do you need more?
Pampanella sandwich.
Look,
is
this
here.
look much better than every, I don't know, like hamburger that I saw all around here, like McDonald's, Burger King, and blah, 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 blah.
Oh, thank you, Eva. My pampanella is better than McDonald's. Thank you. Victory is mine. Apparently this is the McPampanella.
Mick?
McPampanella.
Ah, Mac Pampanella.
Not Mac, McPampanella.
Mac Pampanella.
Do you call it McDonald's? It's McDonald's.
It's McDonald's. Everyone knows in the world that it's McDonald's. By the way, can I have the honor?
You can.
Buon appetito!
Does it make a good sandwich? I'll take that as a yes. Wait, why didn't I get a second bite?
This kind of sandwich, they are like panino with porchetta. Where you have a good bread and you have an amazing meat stuffing inside, like the porchetta, or in this case, the pampanella, really. You don't need anything else.
Ugh, that sandwich is a winner. But so is Panino Napolitano. Pasta grammarian Barbara made this amazing Neapolitan sandwich. It is a fantastic recipe, and we're really glad you tried it and enjoyed it.
And you did a great job. Now you can imagine to do a panino napoletano and stuff with the pampanella.
Why do you always do that to me, Eva? We're like almost done here, and I've got this great victory. Now we have to go try something else. If you want to become a pasta grammarian, just hit that subscribe button. Follow us on social media at Pasta Grammar. I guess I should mention I'll put my my pampanella recipe down below. That feels very weird to say. I'll put what works. Take it with a grain of salt, a splash of vinegar.
Make it, and now you will thank us.
All right, guys, we'll see you next time.
Ciao.
I don't know if that's gonna last me 2 days.
No, I should, because I want more of it. It's not that tomorrow morning I go and open the fridge and it's gone.
Don't count on anything.
Do I need to hide my part of pampanella?